Welcome to 2021. Before COVID, I swam regularly at the St. Joseph's College pool and every year noticed a pattern. In January, the number of swimmers dramatically increased. However, by mid-February, the numbers dropped to previous levels. I suspect the annual rise and fall of the number of lap swimmers and aquasizers has to do with New Year's resolutions. People gung-ho in January, resolving to lose weight and exercise regularly, but finding it more difficult to create new habits than to maintain old ones. I put New Year's resolutions in the same category as Lenten sacrifices. Commendable, but hardly ever achievable. Developing an exercise regimen at New Year's or foregoing chocolate for 40 days are both well-intentioned, but fail to be lasting methods of self-discipline and general improvement. Too often they end up promoting feelings of failure rather than accomplishment. Now, don't get me wrong, I am all for turning over a new leaf in a new year. I believe God always has surprises for us. I agree with a person who blogged, "A new year is like a blank book. It has 12 chapters and 365 pages, and you are the author." However, the question is just how one begins writing that annual story. What point of view will you adopt? From what vantage point will you live 2021? Here are a couple of ideas I came across recently. The first is from my sister. Think of as many positive adjectives, description words, that begin with the same letter as your first name. Write them down and read carefully through them until one pops out and stays with you. That word is your point of view, the vantage point from which you will live out 2021. My word for this new year is nourishing. If I can nourish those around me, as well as take the time to nourish myself, I know it will be a good year. Sure, I will forget at times, but I won't fail because every day is a new chapter and I can begin again. Another way to discover your 2021 point of view is to embrace both darkness and light heading into this new year. After all, both will be there. And, as Barbara Brown Taylor wrote so eloquently in her book, Learning to Walk in the Dark, both can be positive and offer sustenance. You begin by acknowledging that both dark and light characterize 2020. It wasn't all bad. Be grateful for that. Then carry into the new year those experiences of light. The World in Prayer blog suggested ways to carve out a point of view based on gratitude and grounded in the interplay of light and darkness. Hard as it may seem, recognize where the light appeared in your life this past year, because it did. Make a note of who was the light for you, for there was more than one person. Acknowledge how you were the light for someone else, because you were. Affirm where and how you experienced the light of love this year, because you did. Notice who showed you the light of love, for there was more than one person. Embrace how you express this light of love to someone who felt unloved, because you did. Finally, you might choose to approach the new year by sorting through the gifts you received last year. Some you will want to carry into 2021. Others you will intentionally leave behind. I read about this last approach in the God Space Light blog. The author suggests asking 3 questions. What gifts have helped you survive in 2020? What gifts do you need to open and take with you into 2021? What baggage, old stuff, bad presents do you need to leave behind? If you cannot come up with much, look back through your calendar or photo albums. These gifts might be small, a cardinal at your bird feeder, time spent in your garden. Or they might be momentous, a grandbaby born, last days before death with a family member. Embrace these gifts and affirm what about them you will take into the new year. That forms your point of view. However you choose to approach 2021, I agree with a blogger who wrote, "My wish for you is that this year you write the most beautiful story possible for yourself." That is my wish for each of you as well. Happy New Year.